Welcome to Epilogue Podcast, the show where we discuss some stuff that happened on a different show ages ago which nobody really cares about anymore.
Hello, I'm Portponky.
And I'm LeBloc.
Today, we're discussing Farscape, Season 4, Episode 9. A Prefect Murder. John and Aaron get mixed up in an assassination plot on a primitive planet. How did you find this episode?
I thought it was okay. I wasn't thrilled with it, but there are things that I like about it.
There were things that you liked about it.
Yeah, mostly the puppetry of the priest.
Yeah, that was cool. I like that too. I like the forest as well. The sort of aesthetics of the forest were really weird. It was actually filmed in the Australian bush, in a place that had previously had a forest fire.
Okay, so that's why it looks weird.
Yeah, it's a really unique look.
You know what? I said it was okay, but I'm going to already downgrade this episode. I really just liked the puppet. There was a lot that I didn't like about this.
Oh, yeah, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I think we've covered everything that I liked already. The puppet and the forest. This episode is really weird, but not in a kind of quirky, weird way, just in a kind of, I'm really not sure what they were going for with this way.
It's weird in a way where I kept expecting a payoff and it never came. It also felt like they fell way short of the runtime, so short that they couldn't just rely on slow-mo, and so they resorted to repeating scenes over and over.
It starts off like it's some kind of detective mystery where it shows you the rough outline of what happens and then fills in the gaps piece by piece. Except it kind of doesn't. It just fills in some bits here and there. It uses a lot of the same footage again and again. And it's not even shot from a different angle. It's literally just the same footage.
Yes. And it never felt like it was revealing something or I had a better understanding. It's just, no, here's that scene again. Okay.
The only one that kind of worked was at the start where Aaron sees everyone getting shot and then later on you find out she shot them.
Okay, that one. I'll give you that one.
But that's only one. They did it about a dozen times and the rest of them were pointless. And even given all that, it's not really a detective thing because you could not possibly work out that it was magic insects.
No. And I really hate that it was magic insects.
Why do you hate that?
Well, not specifically insects, but I hate when people can't account for their actions in something. So any kind of magic drink or whatever, especially when it takes over a bunch of people. Anyway, I hate this stuff because you can't do a whole lot of fun character stuff, which is what I really like, especially in Farscape. It's just them being taken over, performing actions they wouldn't do, and that's not fun to watch.
It edges a little bit close to the "it was all a dream" category. I mean, not quite, but there's not much content there in. She did a bunch of things, but it wasn't really her.
So the standoff between Aaron and John, obviously they would never shoot each other. It's just a matter of, all right, how big of a dosage of magic insect juice did they get? Can they? There's tension. Can they overcome that? But I really don't like that.
Is there tension?
they could shoot each other. That's bad.
Is it bad? Dargo got shot and he was apparently fine?
Oh yeah, they didn't really address that.
It seems like he was probably intended to get like a glancing blow, but it seemed like it just hit him right in the chest.
It sparked right in the middle of his chest, yeah.
Maybe he's just tough. But late into the end, yeah, they're not going to shoot each other. Then everyone runs in and from nowhere at the same time and grabs them both.
They coordinated that really well with no planning.
And how did they even know they were up there?
They didn't.
Yeah. So they didn't shoot each other. And then that guy came in and said, haha, I did it. And he jumps out a window.
That was so weird.
Why didn't he just say, I didn't do it? It would have been so much easier. He wouldn't have had to jump out the window. I thought you'd have like a parachute or something.
Yeah, it felt like a secret escape thing where something would catch him or something to break his fall, not just, oh, I'm dead now. I didn't see the purpose of the repeated scenes and the out of order stuff. I guess they feel disoriented from the bugs and the visions, but it didn't come together for me.
That doesn't really give you the feeling that you want to shoot everyone.
No, it doesn't.
They could have done something much more visually interesting. Like, for example, they could have had people constantly pulling weapons, but so they didn't really pull a weapon, it just keeps looking like they're pulling weapons, or... Okay, does that make any sense?
Sure.
Like, some kind of paranoia, some flinchy, jumpy, everyone's out to get me kind of feeling.
Okay.
There was no...
I think any idea would be better than what they went with. Not any idea.
Yeah, well,
a lot of ideas.
I needed something, because the stuff was just out of order, it didn't seem like that would result in... Like, if I woke up and experienced the day in a confusing and repeated out of order way, I would just say, I need someone to take me to the hospital. But if I kept thinking everyone was pulling knives on me or something, then I would be a bit more panicked, and I'm not going to say I would be willing to fight back, but surely there are things you could show that would give a better feeling of paranoia, or if they were even paranoid, I don't know. What do these insects do? Just make them susceptible to psychic something from some dude?
See, I was going to bring this up as you were talking about paranoia, because I didn't even get that from this episode, that they're paranoid. I don't understand these visions. So they don't always happen, for one. Two, is it a weakness of the bugs? Because you're seeing something you might potentially do, which means you can warn people or take action to have it prevented, such as John giving his gun away. I don't understand. Here's a bad thing that you might do, and you'll have plenty of time to provide it, to just prevent it.
Don't do it then. I think this episode was boring.
Oh, it's so boring.
And I think I didn't really care about any of the characters, and I didn't think the plot device that was eventually revealed was particularly interesting. Also, those stairs were a health and safety nightmare.
Which stairs?
The massive staircase with no railing.
Oh. You need to thin out the gene pool somehow.
Oh, they have a planet with no insects. I don't think that furthering genetics is gonna... Like, they probably don't have a working food chain. How do plants? Well, like, they were all burned and wrecked, so maybe the planet's just dying. So I take issue with the fact that there's no insects on the planet. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Oh, okay. I take issue that they know what insects are.
Yeah, they know what bugs and insects are, despite the fact there's none on the entire planet.
Why would you? And they can't travel, I take it?
No, they can, because the prince dude had been off-world.
Oh, well, they could learn of insects outside of their planet.
Yeah. But if they're traveling to other planets, surely there would be insects. Like, people would bring them there unintentionally.
Yes, it doesn't make sense.
Also, if they could leave, surely they would just leave. It's not that good a planet.
What are they clinging on to?
A planet with no insects. That's the thing. Maybe it's engineered to have no insects. They exterminated them all.
The priest killed them all with his built-in buzzsaw.
He usually chops flies in half. It's incredibly difficult to do.
He's had a lot of practice, so he's really good at it.
Yeah, he got that guy right in the back of the head, which was quite surprising.
It's so confusing that he has that, but I thought priest is really the only thing I like about this episode, and it's almost over, so I'll go with it.
The priest with a buzzsaw was fine by me. Put more of that in the episode. That was good.
I wanted more of the priest.
He should be cutting down trees with it or something.
Prepping dinner.
Yeah.
Going to the bathroom.
Slice some of the Esmec. Is it Esmec? Ekmek? Whatever it was. The weird loaf-looking thing.
It doesn't matter. That didn't have any payoff.
Yeah, it's silly that it was disgusting. The guy spits it out. I mean, is it not actually good? Can they just not cook? I mean, I get that they hate each other. It doesn't mean that they can't cook. The guy could have said, well, yeah, that guy's a jerk, but man, that Esmec is really good. They all get arrested, and then they kind of aren't arrested later on.
And then people are annoyed. And that's it.
Well, Sikozu's walking around. The guy says, hey, John, do you come with me? I don't know you, but apparently John is the only person who can find Aaron.
I can't remember.
Yeah, that's what they say. John is the only one who will be able to find Aaron, and I have no idea why they would say that.
Wait, that was the line? I don't remember that line. That's awful.
Yeah, he's the least equipped. Dargo would be able to find her a lot better. He's got a good sense of smell.
He's the captain.
Yeah, and he's much bigger. He probably walks faster and runs faster and has
Probably
better
hunted down people too.
Yeah, has better eyesight. Anyone would be better than John, to be honest. Oh, speaking of Sikozu, she was getting in there with the prince dude. That seemed really out of place.
It did. It simply felt like a setup to get rid of her, but really forced.
And it wasn't even that anyway.
Which makes it even more confusing.
It was so weird. She's into Scorpius, and then there's this teeny bopper guy with a bad haircut. And then it repeatedly shows them kissing and him sort of cupping the top of her boob.
That move is so strange, and they show it twice or three times, whatever. More than once.
Yeah, I don't know what they were going for.
Again, that's a scene I thought would lead to something. I thought we're going to learn what this cupping move is all about.
No, I think it's just touching a boob is sexy, but they can't show that because that would bump the rating up too high. So he just has to touch something kind of the top of the I don't know.
It's the move they perform when they want to marry someone. It's the equivalent of getting down on one knee.
Oh, okay. My theory was that she was going to breastfeed him. It was so weird. Not just that, but the whole Sikozu getting in there with this guy who is really not an interesting character.
His defining trait is that his dad died.
Also, his least defining trait. By which I mean he has only one trait. Well, there's the bad haircut and there's the cupping maneuver.
I think cupping maneuver tops them all.
She's a really smart academic, and he is just some dude.
A child.
Yeah, he's not an intellectual equal to her, or at least if he is, I did not get that impression. I mean, maybe she just liked him because she liked him, you know. Maybe it's just a fling.
I think Sikozu got it on with the prince out of boredom.
This episode is boring.
She was trying to escape the episode.
Oh, yeah. Because due to the ratings, if you get your kit off, they can't show you.
Exactly.
Or they have to show you hiding behind a tree or something. I think Sikozu was just inconsistently written in this episode. And I have evidence, because Crichton was inconsistently written.
Why do you say that?
So the big white guy, was he the prefect? I think he was the prefect.
Yes.
He said Aaron was moody or something. I can't remember what he said. And
Yeah.
Crichton said you should meet her mother, or you should have met her mother. Except that Crichton never met Xalix. That was Talon Crichton.
That's too hard for me to remember sequence of events.
So Aaron's mother was the retrieval squad, which went after Talon with Talon Crichton, who then pegged it.
Okay.
Moya was
That
never...
was the only time he met her?
Yeah. The Moya John never met Xalix, never knew that the retrieval squad was run by Aaron's mother, although presumably Aaron told her.
That's an interesting slip-up.
So he's saying you should have met her mother, which is someone he's never seen or met.
Possibly has not heard a word about her.
John and Aaron haven't been on the best speaking terms since the whole Talon adventure, so it seems surprising that he would have that much detail about what went on. No, it's just inconsistent writing.
Rigel was also inconsistent.
Was he inconsistent?
Yeah, he wasn't the secret hero.
He stayed out of the episode. The only true heroic maneuver. Did not participate. What?
He's the true hero by not tarnishing his record.
What was the prefect's plan?
Cause some people to die, cause other people to get mad. Those people start killing each other. The end.
So he had to wait for off-worlders to arrive. A crucial part of a very confusing plan. Then...
when they are in a part of space that does not see frequent travel.
Yeah. Then use them to assassinate a bunch of dudes. And then a big war breaks out?
Yeah. Forcing him to stay in the position because people like incumbents in times of war.
I kind of makes sense, I guess. That's not really a good plan.
This plan had to come together within half a cycle as well.
Yeah, he said it took him months of diplomacy or something to start making progress. But he's only there for 6 months.
Can you be the prefect more than once? Because he's really old. And if that's his first time, it means they were skipping over him a lot. They did not want him to be prefect.
Oh, there's 200 guys, 200 clans. Well, wait, he said months. It didn't say decacycles or something. I don't know. He said months. It's an Earth term.
He's fond of Earth terminology.
Sure.
Came across a book.
I didn't notice that, but yeah, that's sloppy. Normally, that's exactly the sort of thing they point out on Farscape.
And that's in an episode with a joke about language. Aaron is apparently trying to speak English.
Yes, and they played the same dialogue twice.
Yeah.
Do you have a quote from this episode which you would like to share?
Hit me harder, you big sissy.
Why was Doggo punching him? He has the tongue thing that always works.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think about that. I was too busy laughing because Dargo was punching John. And usually punches in shows, it just takes one punch to knock someone out, but he had to repeatedly punch him, and it didn't work.
That was pretty good.
That was the other thing I liked about this episode, the punching. So I had to make sure it got mentioned.
This episode would have been better with more punching.
More punching, more buzzsaw, fewer visions.
0 visions.
That's still fewer.
Cut out all the political intrigue and all the warring clans, because it's such a weird mix between this kind of clan mentality where people are terrified of democracy but somehow also democratic, and also they have spaceships but they still have open air markets and stone baked bread and stuff, like exclusively. It's like subsistence farming and spaceships are not a really logical combination.
They're all hipsters.
That I could believe. There was something in this episode that was kind of cool that I just want to bring up right at the end.
Oh, okay.
In the previous episode, you said it's awfully convenient that Tiana did the blindness thing.
Yeah.
And got the useful codes. Well, she does the opposite here. The guy starts doing something and she tries to memorize it, but it doesn't do anything useful. So she used her ability for no real reason.
That's good. It shouldn't always be perfect.
Yeah. Now, if John and Aaron had come in with guns and given them both to Tiana, and then she had to hold the situation together, then that could have been interesting. But, you know...
I don't understand. Hold the guns while she's blind?
Yeah. And then, I don't know, point them at someone. You know what would be more interesting than anything in this episode?
Anything in the next episode?
Yes. It's unlikely to be as forgettable as this one. But maybe it will be.
I hope I have Aaron's problem and I can't remember this episode.
I already can't quite remember it.
Despite the repetition.
Yes, they show it to you 3 times and it just doesn't go in. It's not good. It's a little crap. Let's move on.
I like that idea. So I'm going to do it.
Okay.